Omni-Man. He's a bad guy, but he's not as bad as you think. Stay tuned to find out. Fun fact, did you know that Mario actually was originally a carpenter and not a plumber? Long before Mario was fixing the sewers and jumping over Koopas, he actually was, making houses and all other stuff that carpenters do. And plumbing was just supposed to be a side job that he just did every now and then. And it's stuck ever since. Omni-Man, the J. Jonah Jameson of the Invincible universe. He wants that Spider-Man. And in fact, Invincible actually met Spider-Man, so who knows? Maybe he actually is J. Jonah Jameson. Who knows? Maybe all this time he's tricked us into thinking he was a regular person, but in reality, he could have effortlessly defeated Spider-Man but lowered his power because, he wanted to make the challenge fun. I know in the series, Omni-Man's the villain. Well, if you read the comics, you know that after that, a lot of stuff happens, but to those who don't know, Omni-Man was the villain, revealed, surprise, surprise, at the first season. But I actually, don't throw tomatoes at me, think he's as bad as you think he is. Hey, yes, I know. He killed thousands of people. I think. Maybe hundreds? I don't know about thousands. Look, the number doesn't count. He killed a lot of people, okay? He killed a lot of people, and that's bad. I know that's bad. He used his son to, ram him into a train and killed who knows how many people. He, destroyed buildings, caused earthquakes, caused avalanches, destroyed cruise ships, all the bad stuff he's done. And that's pretty bad. But, I have 3 reasons as to why Omni-Man is not as bad as you think he is. Is he still bad? Well, in the sense, yes. But let's define it real quick. Yes, he's bad, but he does, for reason number 1, actually show remorse for his actions, especially later in the comics. We know that, the show is going to adapt, but they are probably going to add more stuff to, Invincible that they've always done. Add some more context, add some more, scenes to give characters more development. They're gonna, that's exactly what they did in the Omni-Man scene when he was in space and actually wanted to, in space. He was just so depressed about all that he's done, and now he can't return back to Earth because not only does everybody hate him for obvious reasons, but the fact that his wife doesn't want to see him because she's gonna be pissed because if he does return, she's gonna be like, "Oh, so you returned now, huh? Oh, so you came back, huh? After calling me a pet? Honey. I know I called you a pet and, killed thousands and, beat up our son to a bloody pulp and, called you a pet. But I love you. Okay, Nolan, come give me a hug. I'll take you back. You're still my hubby wubby." The other reason why he clearly is regretful of his actions is because he clearly liked being a superhero. Remember that amazing flashback that you saw before, it revealed Mark's bloodied face on the rocks of the mountain and stuff. Yeah, the flashback he thought when Mark was playing baseball and stuff, like, the scene. I'm trying to explain it, okay? Anyways, yeah, you were emotionally impacted by that. I mean, you were probably crying in your seats. Or not crying. It doesn't matter, it's still emotional. And it gave real man tears. I've never seen a grown man cry before I saw that scene. And while we don't know everything about their marriage, because, it happened off screen and Mark and, Nolan was on Earth for like 20 years, but he clearly loved her and clearly cherished her. And sure, he may have said that she was a pet, but he might have just been lying about that because he wanted to try and distance himself from humans as much as possible so he could show Mark that the Viltrum Empire needed to come to Earth so they could, you know, subjugate it to their society and pretty much make a breeding ground. And reason number 2, he's clearly showing redemption. In season 3, you know, he's arrested. You know, he's put in Viltra jail. You know, he's in the Viltrumite jail. You know, they're gonna beat him up and stuff. And you know, Omni-Man's just gonna let it happen. Like, he clearly was gonna let it happen. I mean, why would he do that? But you know, our boy, our absolute GOAT, Alan, managed to save him. That's right, Alan. That's right, Alan. You managed to save our boy J. Jumma Nolan, man. And that was an amazing, just an amazing. We got to see more of you know, Omni-Man, dude. And now we can because Alan has saved our boy, and now he's going on a journey to help Alan destroy the Viltrumites or Viltrumite society, or I don't know. He wants to stop Viltrumites from doing evil bad guy stuff and make them not evil. So basically, he's now a true superhero. He's basically a space cop now. You know, like Green Lanterns, except without the ring. Reason number 3. Nolan was a superhero for, you know, 20 years or so. And that clearly shows in the fact that he still wants to save other people. Like, he wants to do good, and he clearly wants to change himself for the better, not only because of his own son, but because he just doesn't want to be in a society that views only the strongest as useful anymore. You know? Like, living in that society seems hellish. Killing nearly all of your species just to have the strongest remain. It's got to be absolutely crappy to live, because one misinput and pretty much in your mission, and boom, they kill you because they're like, oh, you're not useful to us anymore. You like failed one time, so like, yeah, you're like useless now. Nolan is now seeing the light. That the Viltrum Empire isn't all that he was trying to portray to Mark. He knows that it's bad news. He knows that it's absolutely a garbage living life to live. You know, it's very hard to find happiness at all. Why do you think Viltrumites have such struggles feeling... Why do you think Viltrumites have a hard time feeling stuff like empathy, love, passion? It's because they don't really use that in Viltrum. They don't really have that kind of relationship. The reason why Viltrumites seem to not really hold as much compassion or empathy or love to their own species like humans do is because, well, they don't really portray that in their society. It's being strong and conquering planets. And if you're filled with empathy, feeling bad about your other species that you're trying to conquer, that's just not really going to do it in a society that takes over and conquers others. It's not really a good way to, you know, take over its species. I mean, what would be easier? For a guy with no emotions, or a guy with pretty much no empathy in his heart to commit atrocities, or a guy that clearly has morals and feels bad about it? Well, clearly the guy that has no empathy is going to be the better man for the job, because he's not going to care or put that past him or make that ruin his other missions. But Nolan's time on Earth has changed him. While he was cold-blooded before, he now knows what love is. He now knows what love feels like. And he's using that to strengthen himself, to fight against a society that he has ruled with for so long. It may have took thousands of years, but hey, Omni-Man is becoming a better person. So, what do you think? Do you think Omni-Man's a bad guy, or a badder guy than he's portrayed as? Or do you think he's actually good now? I clearly think that he's getting much better. If you like this video, go to the comments down below and, you know, see what I can improve upon and see what you liked about the video. and give your opinion about Omni-Man. So, this is Chris from Let's Talk Franchises, and this is me signing out. And remember, being strong also means you are